find it silly that anybody can have an issue with who's going to be the next James Bond.
It's a number.
I'm just happy that what's his name doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I think...
Yeah, Craig's been on it for too long.
Yeah, I don't think Craig wants to do it anymore.
No, I don't think so either. I think he could.
I'm sure he could.
I think we can all agree the one person that we all want to see James Bond, he can't do it anymore. And that is Morgan Freeman.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. That would have been interesting. Yeah, I would take that.
I would watch an animated Bond series with him narrating it.
Yeah.
Or being the voice of James Bond. That man
could.
His golden voice, I would fall asleep to that every night if I could.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to transition from a trained assassin to a guy who's just, a tough guy. Darrelle Revis. I was poetic toward him earlier in the night.
It was beautiful.
You guys know what happened. He was out late at night and in Pittsburgh, his hometown, got into an altercation. He or maybe someone else, or we don't know what's going on, knocked out a couple of guys. What we do know is he showed up at the hospital with some blood, I believe on his knuckles, but then later he was charged with assault and terroristic threats and a few other charges. They have since been dropped since he had a witness, aka Fall Guy, come forward and say that it wasn't Revis, it was him. Revis, either called or texted him and said, I'm being followed. I think an altercation is going to go down. And this guy who's just so good at being friends with Darrelle Revis, in the middle of the night got in his car and came to his rescue, turned a couple guys around and knocked some suckers out. So do you think that this altercation, because we all know he's been released by the Jets, not because of this, but because of his poor play, and the amount of money he's demanding, do you think that this is going to affect him either getting a job or will mean that he has to take a serious cut in pay more so than he would have to because of his play? Or is this not going to change anyone's mind?
I don't think it's going to do much with all the charges being dropped. It's the first kind of character issue that I remember with Revis. He's always been a mercenary.
Yeah, he's just a loudmouth.
Yeah, but it's never really been much of an off the field thing. Unfortunately, the only people that know it happened for sure are the people that were there.
A couple of them don't even know because they were knocked out.
Yeah, so you may, it wouldn't be unreasonable to give him the benefit of the doubt. And the Jets owe him $6 million. He doesn't have to take a penny less than that, so he could sit this season and get paid $6 million. If another team takes him, that's the minimum they have to pay. I would think at least one or two teams will throw that at him, kick the tires, see if there's any tread left, see if he can transition to safety as he was talking about. The Browns have a ton of cap space. They could.
Browns also have a pretty decent secondary, though.
But imagine if he can be anything decent in the secondary.
I mean, do you really think he'd beat Joe Hayden?
No.
But
I don't think that's the argument.
He would be. He knows he's not a number one corner anymore. He would be.
And if he doesn't, show him his tape from last year.
Yeah, a number two, or he would transition to safety, or he could just, kind of help train the younger guys. Maybe he's willing to take that mentorship role.
I mean, I don't think this is going to affect him. First of all, why you would run up on an individual with a camera at 3 a.m. is beyond me. Why he's even out at 3 a.m. is beyond me. But I don't think the situation's going to have anything to do with it. Especially, like you said, all charges dropped. I don't know that that's going to be the issue. I think the bigger issue is going to be the team interest in where he's going to play, because he's not going to be a number one for anybody. I would personally, I'd like to see if he can go to safety. And I'd like to see him take on more of the Ed Reed role that was Ed Reed towards the end of his career, where it was mentoring and giving guys with talent like Hayden a little bit of just advice and see if Hayden absorbs it and Hayden can even elevate his level even further.
I don't think he's going to be much of a mentor. I think he's going to be the type
but
that's
it would
like,
be nice to
let
see
me,
him
let me
like
get
that.
mine. So if he decides, without even trying to get another job, to just collect that $6 million to retire, is this a way of him admitting guilt and trying to defer any further investigation by the NFL?
I don't know that it is. I don't feel that it is.
Okay.
And I don't think he would anyway. As I said, he's a mercenary. I think he's gonna get those $1 million checks for as long as he can. And when he can't play anymore, he'll probably do coaching or sportscasting or something.
I wouldn't be surprised for him.
Him and Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still gonna look forward to that.
Them and Rex Ryan can all get together. It would be golden.
Now we're going to move on to another topic that is fun for some. Some people are really excited about this next idea. It's Floyd Mayweather fighting Conor McGregor. Boxing with Floyd, MMA with Conor. First, would you watch it?
Oh yeah, everyone's going to say that everyone is going to watch it, whether they say that they're not, whether they say that they are or not. Everyone's going to tune in,
regardless of price. Let's just say it was free. So that's the argument I'm going to make.
Yeah,
it's
people are
free
going to find a way to watch.
Because there are going to be people who are like, I'm not spending $65 on this.
Yeah, but
I'll watch it.
They'll
maybe
go to a bar or something.
Or something. Yeah. I'll see it, especially with the amount that they're hyping this up.
That's a very good point. I'll touch on that in a minute.
As far as the fight itself,
yeah, who do you think would win?
It's a boxing match, so Floyd's going to win.
But Conor McGregor is a good striker.
He's a good striker, but
Floyd has no knockout punch. He's all defense.
Yeah, but that's all he needs to do.
If McGregor hits him with 2 good punches, McGregor could take him down.
People said the same thing about Pacquiao, but
what it really comes down to, boxing, given the fact that it's boxing, Mayweather seems to have the advantage right off the bat, in my opinion.
He's a lot older.
True, but I also think that
level,
McGregor has a chance.
39-0, 40-0?
Yeah, 49.
49-0.
Yeah. I think McGregor does have a chance, a lot more than people think, because one thing about McGregor is he's a very quick fighter. He fights you in almost a blitzkrieg style where he's going to bum rush you, and I don't think Mayweather's ever really faced that in his career. 2, McGregor can hit pretty hard, considering, and if he can get those shots. Plus, the other thing I think is being overlooked is I think McGregor's probably got a stronger chin. You're asking him to take kicks to the face.
McGregor's tougher. Those hits from Mayweather, they're not going to hurt him as much as anything he got from Nate Diaz.
Well, the gloves are heavier. That is going to affect the fight in both, feeling those hits and also probably tiring McGregor out quicker. He's not going to be able to throw a million jabs when he's got...
The longer the fight goes, the worse it gets for McGregor.
Absolutely. He goes 3 rounds. He goes 3 rounds in a UFC fight. This would end up being
5, I think, for titles, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 for titles, yeah. But it doesn't. It rarely ever gets to that point.
Yeah.
He goes 3 rounds, potentially 5, depending on the type of fight.
You're talking 3-minute rounds.
Yeah, whereas Floyd Mayweather is used to 12, 15-round fights that he wins by decision. He doesn't knock people out. He lets you attack, and when you're tired, he'll just calculate how many punches he needs to hit you with to score enough points.
Yeah, it's like rope-a-dope.
Yeah, and in the boxing realm, it's taking a fish out of water and asking it to fight in a different arena. Mayweather's clearly advanced in this scenario. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of Mayweather.
No.
If I wanted it, publicity-wise, if I was working this whole thing out and I wanted to see a reaction from the sports fan, I would wait until McGregor feels like he's just had enough, and then he just kicks him in the head.
I have a similar idea. My thinking: how would I make this the most possible money? Because this is going to be a $500-600 million fight.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to bring in so much money. You let the fight happen the way it should happen. Floyd Mayweather wins by decision. As Mayweather's walking back to his corner, McGregor gets him in a rear naked chokehold. Chokes him out.
Okay, I thought you were going to say $1 Million Baby.
No,
kicks to the head and he falls on the bench.
And then later on down the road, 7-8 months, however long it is, McGregor fights his next title fight in UFC. As he's doing his victory lap, he comes around to what? Floyd Mayweather standing in the ring, knock him out. What is that going to do? That's going to set you up perfectly for Mayweather-McGregor 2.
This time
the
MMA.
$1 billion fight. That fight would bring in $1 billion.
See, orchestrating that would be difficult. But I would like to just see Mayweather get kicked in the head just because McGregor's like, you know what? This is how I normally fight. And now you just got a little piece, and McGregor would not give a darn about being DQ'd on that move.
No.
He's not someone who cares about the repercussions.
They don't do a pure boxing match. I say
kickboxing.
Every round they switch between boxing and MMA. Start the first round with boxing.
That's not
Mayweather
fair,
would
though.
never do it.
I don't think you could do grappling for Mayweather.
That's not fair though, because then there are boxing elements in UFC. There are strikers. There are boxers. There aren't MMA fighters in boxing.
No.
There's no way
trying.
you're not gonna get. He's not gonna get Mayweather or McGregor in a triangle. He's not gonna. What is he gonna? He's the only thing that he might have maybe is he is really fast, so he'll be able to avoid them and then get some elbows to the head. Or forearms to the head. That's probably his best bet, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, it would never happen, but it would be hilarious and entertaining.
What if you do Mayweather? You alternate rounds, McGregor blindfolded. All right. That's a ton of speculation. That's not going to happen for many months. Something else that might happen in many months, and I think we're going to close out on this. O.J. Simpson might get out of jail this October. All he has to do is convince a majority of the parole board that he's got good behavior, that he is worthy of being released. My question to you, and I think I know the answer that especially you, Tony, are going to give, do people even know or care about O.J. Simpson anymore?
No, yes, care, probably not.
I think they're given the specials that have recently been on with ESPN. I think that
everybody
knows. Well, yeah,
an Oscar-winning film,
first Oscar, I believe, by ESPN. I think they do know. I think people. I don't know that anybody necessarily cares that he's still in jail. In my opinion, let the juice loose.
and he's poised.
At this point, what is it doing anybody for him to stay in prison? I mean, he's in there, I believe, on the robbery charge.
Yes, he's served 9 years of 20-something.
I don't know that he's. I can't imagine he is a risk to society at this point.
He's 68 or something like that.
Yeah, let the man live out his. I mean, let's be honest. This man hasn't exactly had the best life once he got out of football because of his own problems. I don't
Allegedly.
He just can't seem to find gloves that fit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, for what it's worth, I don't know that anybody's really going to care that he gets released. I don't think they will.
No, I completely agree. I don't
Unless,
think.
Of course, he robs someone else.
Well, yeah, I don't think this is going to be as big of a deal as many people do think, because those who are adamant that he belongs in jail are older. The newer crop of people who are familiar with him only know of his robbery charges, so I don't think the murder trial is going to be as big now as it was even 10 years ago.
No, I don't think it is either. I think the episodes and the shows that have just recently come out, the documentaries, I think they've nicely wrapped everything in a box of whoever's still hanging on to it or obsessed with it. You should have closure at this point. We're not going to get anything. If you're not going to get anything out of a book that says, if I had done it, you're not going to get anything more at this point.
Yeah, right now you're just attacking an old man.
Yeah, an old man who's probably not doing too well, because let's be honest, when he was in the white Bronco, we knew he wasn't mentally stable at that point.
All right, guys, that's going to be pretty much the end of it for tonight. We're going to end though with a this week in sports history, and this one I think is a pretty good one. On March 20th, 1897, the first recorded intercollegiate basketball game was played as Yale beat Penn 32-10. March 20th.
What a game to watch.
Certainly wasn't on TV.
Were they still peach baskets, or did they have actual baskets?
Probably still peach baskets.
That's some defense.
Yeah. Or poor shooting.
No, definitely they were just the best defenders. I've
never tried to shoot a ball into a peach basket. I really wouldn't know how difficult that is.
I have no